This is the Page Publishing Book Club. How you doing? Here we are again, Rob. Feels like it was just yesterday, doesn't it? I'm your host, Alice Stockton Rossini. Rob Barretts is my engineer. I hope you're enjoying your summer and feeling inspired and getting ready to get that book done. What book? What book? What book you say? That book. You know, the book. That book. The book. You've been meaning to write it forever. It's been in your head for how long? Huh? How long? Too long. You need some inspiration. That's why we're here. That's what we're all about, man. We're going to start off with two very creative people whose books document how they turned a life experience into positive creations to share with the world. We're going to start off with Lynn McSparran. Do you think we could do more to address mental health in this country? Well, Lynn does. And she found a tool that every kid in America has. In fact, every kid on the planet. And it's a tool that helped her get through an extremely emotionally stressful time. Lynn, tell us about your book entitled Wall-Worthy.
It is a coloring book for adults. And I think the most important part of that title is the art therapy part. I had a mental breakdown. I had a physical breakdown, I had a mental breakdown, and the only thing that I could do was draw. It's the same thing I did back in high school. Thank God for Betty Burr, my art teacher. I just started drawing, and a friend of mine said that would look good as a coloring book because I draw in black and white. And then she started showing me some of the coloring books that were out on the market, and I was like, oh, man, I wouldn't want to color these. There's no creativity to them. So I sent a couple of samples to some other coloring book publishers. Blue Star, I think, was one, and the other one was Dover. And they said no. And then I contacted Page and sent the submission in, and holy cow, they said yes. You said yes. So now I'm still drawing and I color, and I'm really excited about Wall-Worthy.
It's really therapeutic, you say.
Oh, my God, yes. When I walked to my psychiatrist's office for the first time and I told him about my compulsion for drawing, I mean, I literally couldn't stop drawing and coloring. His first words to me were, don't stop. And I haven't. For my mental health, it was crucial. It took 4 months going through various insurance companies, and I won't bore you with the details, for me to find physical doctoring. And it took me 5 months to find mental doctoring.
What do you mean, mental doctoring, physical doctoring?
I did not receive any medical care for 4 months. I saw lots of doctors. I was diagnosed by a lot of doctors, but all of them said, we can't do anything because of the insurance. I thought it was work-related. I went through workers' comp. Workers' comp said, no, it's not work-related, so I had to go back to my company, and back and forth we went.
You're suffering a mental health issue, and you have doctors telling you, sorry, we can't help you because your insurance won't cover it.
Right.
Oh.
And so my release, my angst, whatever, was done on black and white paper.
That's pathetic. That is such a pathetic testament to our mental health system.
Yeah. And I am really angry that there is a lack of mental health care out there. If it were as easy to get mental health as it is to get a flu shot, what if you could walk into a place like CVS and talk to a mental health counselor the way you can walk into CVS and talk to a physician's assistant? I mean, come on, we've got to do something in this country. People are marinating in violence, and there's no mental health care to counteract it.
I hear you. I hear you, Lynn.
This has become a very important issue for me, and if Wall-Worthy can help someone, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. I'm surprised they don't do this in, elder care homes, Alzheimer's patients.
Exactly.
Children.
Yes.
I mean, I think with children they do draw pictures. I'm pretty sure, but
every kindergartner, every first grader, every second grader is an artist.
Yep.
That's what they do all day long. They color, they paste, they cut out things. But what do we do in third grade? All of a sudden, it is books and studying, and the art creativity that's spark of mental curiosity of what your picture is going to look like next, it dries up.
Right.
And there's no art funding in high schools anymore. Like I said, thank God for Mrs. Burr, my art teacher.
I hope I hope you're taking this book on the road.
Yes, I hope to start walking it around senior citizen centers. I live in Port Orange, which is close to Daytona Beach. So there are lots of retirement centers and senior centers and so forth here.
Right.
And yes, soon I'm going to start driving around and knocking on doors and showing activity directors.
It sounds like you have a calling, Lynn.
Well, I hope so, because I've already got Walworthy 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 ready to go.
Wow, Lynn, you go, man. You are on fire. I think you're on a mission. Next up, Randy J. Pfeiffer plays chess. It doesn't matter that he can't see. It inspired him to write his book entitled Blind Chess. Randy.
Blind chess is actually the game of chess. However, you don't use the board nor the pieces. It's like mental chess. Blind meaning that you don't see nor use the board nor pieces. I played chess most of my life. My father taught me when I was 8 years old. I just enjoyed it the whole time. However, I went blind in '06. I was 47 when I went blind, and I really thought I lost the game. However, my Braille instructor showed me that there was a tactile board, a board that indeed it's like a pegboard, and you can stick the pieces down in it, so it allows you to touch the pieces without them moving.
So it helped that you learned the game while you could still see.
Oh, yes. For me, it did.
Now, for someone who has never been able to see, can they learn the game through this?
Absolutely. I've taught the game over the phone. I mean, it's amazing. It's just you have to imagine the pieces. It's real easy. Like a knight is like a horse. It looks like a horse. And a rook is like a castle and things like that. And when you explain it to people like that, it allows them to envision what indeed it is.
And no one has ever done anything like this?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they have. Blindfolded chess is popular, where someone that can actually see, they put a blindfold over them and they play in the blind, so to speak. However, blindfold chess is a little different than blind chess in that blind chess there's no crutches. You can't move the blindfold and peek. So there is no way to check the pieces or anything like that. You just strictly have to go with your memory and your mind. And one of the major benefits of this game is that it really helps your short-term memory.
What a mental challenge. What a great mental challenge.
Oh, it massages your brain. It exercises your memory for sure. One of the advertising points that I use is just asking you. You've forgotten something, and you say, oh, it's in the house. You go into the house, and you say, yes, it's in the room. You go into the room, and you say, what did I come in here for?
I hate when that happens.
Normal people like me, it does happen, and I find that when I use blind chess to, like I said, exercise my memory, it really helps me, and I have less of those episodes.
And I would think even people who can see would find a greater challenge in trying to play chess, blindfolded but no peeking.
Oh, yes. We multitask. So if you can play chess and still be able to do everything you're doing, then that's a benefit to me, because you want to be able to learn how to multitask and to be able to play chess where your mind is really absorbed and occupied, but you can still concentrate on other things. Then that would only strengthen your mental capacity.
How are you getting the word out about this book?
Starting with this radio interview, I have other radio interviews that are scheduled, and I'm hoping to even convince a producer at PBS to maybe give me some time there. But the internet is very important. I have a blind chess Facebook that I'm getting ready to start. I haven't even started it yet, but I will. That will hopefully allow me to get the word out.
Right.
And when they buy the book, they learn the concept of blind chess. It doesn't teach you how to play chess, but it teaches you the concept of it. It gives you a good idea of how I came to blind chess, and it's an excellent reference. So if you need to reference any of the pieces, the moves, the values of any of the pieces, things like that. And the major thing with blind chess is to learn the board. And algebraic notation gives you pretty much, there are 64 squares on the board, and each square has a coordinate. And when you learn the board, then that's 90% of the battle.
All right, Randy. And by the way, you can check out blindchess.net. Go ahead, challenge yourself. Just in time for Christmas, MC Collier has released her book entitled Jolly, A Family for Christmas. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. This gives people a chance to hear about your book in time to buy it for the holidays.
Thank you. It was a long road, but we finally made it. Jolly is about a family cat that has 2 little girls and takes many adventures within his own home. He is a little fuzzball that comes to them on Christmas Eve and joins a family just to be loved and just to have adventures and experience the great world that the girls can give him. Very simple story. It isn't a large lesson or any morals. It's just a good old-fashioned story, beautifully illustrated, one that I hope kids will just sit and read and want to be read and read themselves as they grow older. I have not had many cats. Jolly lived with us for many years, but over the years, just he was so unique, so special, had so many different odd little things that happened to him over the years. It became so easy to love a cat that was so accommodating to us as his caretakers.
So this is a tribute to your cat, Jolly.
Yes, it is. He did live. Jolly Jingles was our cat, and he was a beautiful Persian. He left in 2008. He was really, literally, the children were 2 and 3 years old when we got him. So he grew with them and departed just as they were departing for college.
Oh, wow. Is that what inspired the book?
Well, honestly, my daughter had drawn a picture of Jolly when she was young. And it was one of those things that you move and you find this at the time she drew it. Oh, we need to share Jolly with the world. Let's do this. Let's write a book. Well, children get older. They're gone now. They're married. They have homes. This picture surfaces, and I think it's time. It's time to share Jolly with the world.
Very nice. So are you interested in making money with this? Are you going out and talking about it to little kids? Or
I have done a few readings at grade schools, and until the next book comes out, which actually is happening this early fall, that is something that is just literally, I just want to share it. I travel quite a bit, but it is something that, yes, I really want children to see it from all over. So I will be visiting bookstores, libraries, schools, any elementary schools, things like that. It's a wonderful experience, and I am very fortunate to be able to do that.
So even better. Now you have a purpose.
Yes.
An even greater purpose.
True.
With that, we are going to take a very, very, very quick break. And when we come back, we're going to check out an historical fantasy that will spark your imagination and some thoughts on how to make the world a better place. Don't go anywhere. This is the Page Publishing Book Club.
Have you written a book and want to get it published? Then now's the time to call Page Publishing at 800-204-6099 and do it immediately. You see, they're looking for authors of all types of books. And unlike most publishers, Page Publishing will take the time to review most of the books submitted to them. And they'll even give you their feedback. And if they like what they read, Page Publishing will get your book into bookstores and for sale online at Amazon, the Apple iTunes Store, and other outlets. They'll handle everything: copyright protection, printing, cover art, publicity, and editing. So if you've written a novel, a children's book, a cookbook, inspirational work, a book of poetry, or biography, and want to get it published, then you need to call Page Publishing and do it immediately. Call 800-204-6099 now for your free author submission kit. Your road to fame and fortune could very well start with this simple phone call. For your free author submission kit, call Page Publishing at 800-204-6099.
Hey, thanks for coming back to the Page Publishing Book Club. Let's talk historical fiction and fantasy with B.K. Amadeo. His dad was a deacon in the Catholic Church, and between that, his boyhood curiosity, and a love for Native American history, he wrote a book so detailed and intertwined, he was advised to cut it into 2 books because a lot of publishers think that's what you have to do in order to have a better chance of attracting readers. So we begin with The Looming Dragon.
First book is about a young boy, Casey. He's a Native American who lives in New Mexico. He's the chosen one, basically, just from ancient Native American lore, from the Anasazi. This tribe, his tribe is called the Anunnaki, and he got anointed by the Dijupa, which is the ancient leader's name, and it's a very spiritual role. It's like the healer of the tribe. The book talks about his rise to be the Dijupa. There's another character called Adsu, it's a 8,000-year-old god from ancient Mesopotamia. And throughout history, he's been watching the rise and fall of humanity. And he was there during the creation of civilization. So how does Casey and Adsu relate to each other? Well, you've heard the story of Cain and Abel, right? Well, Cain was the one that slew Abel. Adsu is from his bloodline. Casey is from Abel's bloodline. So the Looming Dragon starts to delve into ancient history, where mankind came from, how we developed as a culture and as a civilization, and how during the Great Flood split Abel's bloodline in 2. One went to South America, and then the other bloodline of Abel went to Israel and became the Hebrew and the Jews. So along with that was magic. So there was a special chosen one. Obviously Jesus was the chosen one of the Hebrew, and then Casey kind of acts as the Native American chosen one. Adsu Gulden was still alive through the entire time and observed all the changes. He couldn't stand any of Abel's bloodline, so he started tracing the bloodlines, the pure bloodlines down. All of this happens at the same time the dragon comes back. And the dragon is something coming from celestial space, and they see it in the skies. And that's what caused the Great Flood. And in ancient Native American lore, it talks about the fifth world and prophecy and how the dragon's going to come and destroy the world. And guess what? Throughout the world, there are a lot of people or a lot of traditions and a lot of folklore talking about dragons throughout the world. Well, the dragon, the Looming Dragon, is coming again, and it's coming again to destroy the world. Oh. And Adsu Gulden is trying to wipe out Casey's tribe. He's just basically trying to wipe out mankind. Oh, and he's wanting to start over again because he wants to be a god like he was in Babylon.
Okay.
I wanted to take the time to write a book about where we came from, Atlantis, the Bible, religion, who Christians are, we're the really giants. And I was able to take all that and mesh it all together, and I put it into a storyline. And everything that I enjoyed, everything I had interest in when I was a child, and I was able to put them all together. The first book is Looming Dragon. The second book, because I had to split it up, is Coming Savior.
Are you publishing these together, or are you publishing this one first?
Looming Dragon's first. Coming Savior is going to be kind of the sequel. It's a lot of information. I won the Gold Medal Award, Christian Fantasy Reader's Favorite Gold Medal, and this was 2013, and I was surprised because it's just such a detailed book. It's a lot of information. Even though it's a fictional book, everything is based, just on the names of the characters, such as Inky, Inkani, even Casey's middle name is Anu, are ancient Sumerian names, and they come from ancient Sumerian culture. There is fact in everything that's written in those words, all the words of the book.
Wow. Like I said, historical fiction and fantasy. I give you a lot of credit for all the research you've done, and looking forward to that sequel. Jerome Gleich is very concerned about what's going on in this world. He thinks maybe it's time to return to our spiritual roots. It's why he wrote Some Thoughts on God and Other Things. Jerome, what do you think the problem is?
I think part of the reason that people are not, they're shying away from religion and other things because religion, like our government, like everything else in this world, is imperfect and flawed. And I think people start to feel that maybe God was either not there or flawed or messed up. And I wanted them to understand that that's not the case. That religion definitely is, but that, again, that's like everything else. My point is that God maybe this is like another plane of existence where God lives and where we may go, our spirit, or and I kind of think it's not really the concept of what they teach you in religion or what people think of as heaven or paradise. I talk about this in the book where it's just a different plane of existence where we may just be pure energy, pure intellect. And it's something. It's going to be a different existence.
Something must have propelled you to do this. I mean, this sounds like something you've thought about for a long time. This is your first book. Something must have happened that made you finally decide to write this.
Well, I wanted to. I'm an older person, and I'm getting close to retirement. And when I retire, I want to start something to mentor young men. And I wanted some kind of book about God. I wanted them to be moral. I want them to be moral people. So I needed this book. So I had the general idea, but then it kind of a lot of this just came to me in the middle of the night. Came to me on the train at work. I wrote down, and I would just write. I'd have to get up and write. It wasn't a lot of fun because I had to get up in the middle of the night and write stuff down.
Right.
And eventually, after several months, I had a lot of, a page here, 2 pages, a couple paragraphs, a few lines, and then I had to organize all that stuff in the chapters, and then actually start writing the book. And actually, I changed some things. I added a chapter, as it went on. It kind of took a life of its own, but so that's kind of how it came about. And a lot of things are thoughts maybe that I've had about things for a while, but a lot of it are things that just kind of were inspired or came to me. And it's funny because during the publication, I've had to read my own book like a dozen times maybe, and I actually enjoy reading it because a lot of it's like someone else wrote it because it's not really.
Right. You want to make the world a better place, Jerome. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, basically, the concept is I want people to believe in God. I want them to treat other people like they would like to be treated, and make the world, have the world be a better place.
Oh, thank you for that, Jerome. Do unto others. Can't hear that enough. Finally, there is some truth to the saying, money is the root of all evil, and it's something Edwina Orless decided to explore in her book entitled The Soul, as in S-O-U-L, Hypnotist.
The Soul Hypnotist is about a young woman who was born in a Swiss family, and the father passed away when she was only 6 years old, and her mother had to give her up for adoption, so her rich parents forced her to leave her soulmate to marry the rich man who sells girls to the devil.
Her mother gave her up for adoption to a rich family, and the rich family married her to the devil.
Yes, they forced her to leave her soulmate to marry to another man who sells girls to the devil.
Okay. Do you have any experience with this, or is this just something you made up?
It's fiction. I mean, I think at some point we all sell also either to God or the devil. My friends kind of inspired me to write the book because when I was in college, I had a house cleaning job, like a housekeeping, cleaning people's house, and she was like, "No, you're too beautiful to be cleaning people's house. You should find you a rich man to take care of you." And then I started thinking, and I was like, "Oh, but what if I don't like the person? Just find someone for money, and that's like selling your soul to the devil." And that's when I get inspired to write the book.
Okay, so you just imagined what it would be like to just marry someone for money.
Yes.
Boy, it happens all the time, Edwina.
Yes. She she has to overcome a lot of obstacles, but at the end she conquer, like she's a fighter. I also want my reader to know that no matter what comes your way in life, you have to keep fighting and you'll be fine.
Did you enjoy writing this book?
Yes, I did. I mean, English is not my first language. It's my third. It was a little hard because it takes me longer than most people would take. It takes me 3 years to write the book. But I really did enjoy writing it.
So what are you going to do now?
Well, I have a publicist that's helping me. I try to go to some bookstores to talk to the people to see if they can carry my book in the stores. I try social media for the book. I'm doing everything, and hopefully, like, word of mouth will get the book to be a success because it's a very good story.
Is there, does it end with this book or does it go on? Are you writing a sequel?
It goes on. I'm writing a sequel, yes.
All right, good for you. Why stop now, right? Her battle goes on, Rob. Thanks, Edwina. And our battle goes on, because we got to fight to get out of here on time. Am I right? That wraps up another edition of the Page Publishing Book Club. Thanks so much for stopping by. We're coming back next week, same time, same place, right here on 710 WOR. In the meantime, start thinking, start writing, start imagining what your book is going to look like, who's going to be in it, what is in your heart and soul that you need to share with the world. Get moving and secure a spot right here on the Page Publishing Book Club. How much fun is that? You have a great weekend.